Alright, hello guys. In today's video, we're going to be talking once again about that southeast snowstorm that I mentioned in yesterday's video. It's going to be an exciting one. I have a lot of information to go over with you guys. Things are looking very major, but there's still a lot of uncertainty with the models. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content. And also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social medias. Let's get right into things. Now, first things first, here's our Canadian model, and this is the model that I used in yesterday's video. So the reason I wanted to show this is just to update you guys with what this model is showing. It's come down to earth. It's not calling for 15 inches anymore, but it is calling for a general 3 to even 6 inches of snow, I would say, for a lot of these areas in Virginia, North Carolina, and maybe even Tennessee or West Virginia. So a lot of areas expecting to see snowfall, even possibly Maryland as well. Now, this Canadian model run was from yesterday because we haven't gotten our morning model run yet, so we are going to have to go based off of last night's Canadian model run. Now, we're going to get started with our NAM model, and that's the model we're going to use today. You might be wondering, why are you going to use the NAM model when yesterday you used the Canadian model? Well, we're a day closer to the storm. We're getting very close to the storm, and we want to start using short-range models. And the NAM has been doing an excellent job with showing the locations of these low-pressure systems throughout the year. It's been doing a better job than most other models, so this is the model we're going to go with today. But I will be showing you the snowfall outlook from multiple different models at the end of the video. So let's switch over to our NAM model right now and take a look at that simulated radar. All right, first things first, we're looking at, this is going to be Wednesday morning about 7 a.m., which is going to be tomorrow morning from the time I'm making this video. I'm making this video on Tuesday, February 18th, but this frame is going to be by 7 a.m. on February 19th. And we see some showers, some rain showers there for Texas, Louisiana, and then maybe even some snow showers there for New Mexico in through Oklahoma and Texas. And that's what's going to become our winter storm. Let's move on a frame, and we can see that we see those yellows popping up, a lot more precipitation. That blue to the north in Nebraska is going to come down and meet this green that's in Texas. Now, this is going to be by Wednesday, maybe evening time. I would say maybe 5 or 6 p.m. Let's move on another frame, and we see it's coming together a lot more. We see snowfall there for Colorado, Kansas, and we see a lot of rain for Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And that's going to be by 2 a.m. on Thursday morning, getting very close to our storm here. And then as we move on to the eastern United States, because that's going to be the highlight of this storm at this point, and this is going to be by, I would say this is about 4 a.m. on Thursday morning. We see that precipitation to the south of the area is expecting to get snow, and that's just going to move further north and further north and further north until it's over the areas that have freezing temperatures, and that's what's going to lead to the snowfall. Now we're about to move on and start to take a look where we're going to start to see our blues show up for northern Arkansas, areas in Tennessee, as well as areas in North Carolina as this storm is about to take a very exciting turn. Now this frame is going to be by about 9 a.m. on Thursday, February 20th. And you can see that there's a lot of precipitation there for the deep south, and that's all just heading north towards the cold air, and that's what's going to lead to our southern slider snowstorm here. This storm has been trending north on all the models very consistently run after run, and that's typically what we see happen, and that's what's led to the storm actually looking more major than what was originally anticipated a few days ago. I was eyeballing this one, I think, about Sunday time frame in my weekly forecast. I had mentioned that there was a storm possible, and to my knowledge, I'm the first source to actually recognize the fact that there was the ingredients for a storm there, and then sure enough, it's come into fruition beautifully. I'm very, very proud of that take on that storm. It's been a very, very good one. And we've been tracking this one vigorously in our Facebook group, Weather Freaks. It's been a ton of fun to watch every single model run come out. It was like a party last night, guys. If you haven't joined already, it's going to be in the comments down below. It's super fun. We have 1,800 members right now, so it's growing rapidly. This is going to be by 8 a.m. on Thursday. Let's move on towards... this is probably going to be about 11 a.m. on Thursday, February 20th, and you can see a lot of blue showing up at this point. We see snow taking over for Tennessee at this point, and even northern Mississippi and Alabama getting in on a little bit of this. It's going to be very cold. Even Huntsville, I would say, is the biggest town there in the northern deep south that might be seeing snow, or right on that line there. We see central North Carolina is starting to switch over to snow already by 11 a.m. on Thursday, so things are getting started very, very early on. And we have that low pressure system located offshore of Georgia. Now, this could be further north than what this is showing, or further south. Further south would mean less snow. further north would mean more snow, so there's still a lot of uncertainty with the models. You will see that once I show you all of the models together at the end of the video, that on the snowfall maps, they are pretty uncertain at this point. So we're having to kind of just go with what we think seems the most legit, and that's why I'm showing you the NAM model here. Now we're about to move on to where we're going to see even more snow take over here for the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast states in this very exciting winter storm. And this is going to be by about 2 p.m. on Thursday, February 20th. We see all of eastern Tennessee taken over by snow, western Virginia, maybe a little bit of eastern Kentucky as well, but northern Alabama and northern Georgia, it's very mountainous in those northern Georgia regions, so this isn't too surprising. But they're seeing some moderate snowfall here. But North Carolina, you're getting taken over by snow, especially the central regions here, by Thursday at 2 p.m. And you might see that that rain snow line looks pretty far north compared to what you saw in the thumbnail. And that's because this is in the middle of the day. So obviously very warm temperatures here in the middle of the day. But it's going to switch. The snow rain line is going to move further and further south as we move on here. So let's move on towards approximately, I would say, about 5 or 6 p.m. here. And you can see that those blues and pinks have moved further south, like I said. But for Virginia, it's starting to get taken over by snow. The low pressure system is intensifying. The northern half of North Carolina is the bullseye at this point, getting moderate to heavy snow here at this point. Let's move on another frame as we head towards nightfall. This is going to be by about 8 p.m. And again, that rain snow line has moved further and further south, where now Charlotte, North Carolina is taken over by snow, Raleigh, Norfolk, Virginia, even up through Richmond, even on this model, so very far north. Very, very interesting stuff here, guys. A lot of snow for areas that have not seen it in about 2 years for a lot of these folks here. Let's move on again, and this is going to be by maybe about 11 p.m. on Thursday night, heading into Friday, February 21st. And we see North Carolina, Virginia still getting the snow overnight, moderate to heavy snowfall. Again, this could be further south or further north. A lot of uncertainty on the models. The NAM certainly has the most major snowfall at this point out of any of the models. Let's move on again towards 2 a.m. And you can see it's just generally heading east, but we're still seeing snow in some of the same areas. Raleigh, Charlotte, it's ending for you here. Eastern North Carolina starting to get more and more. Norfolk, Eastern Shore, Virginia, as well as up through Williamsburg and Richmond as well. So all of these regions are getting a pretty good amount of snow. And then as we head towards about 5 a.m., you can see it's starting to just head towards the coast and come to an end here. And by the time we reach about 8 a.m. on Friday, February 21st, it's coming to a complete end here. Let's look at those temperatures here, and you can see that by Friday morning we're going to be dealing with mid-20s for Virginia and North Carolina, especially in the central and western regions there. And some of these areas in the green are above freezing, and you might be wondering, hey, why are these regions expecting snowfall? Like Norfolk, you can see there is in the greens. Well, let's look at those upper air temperatures, and you can see that it's negative 15 degrees Celsius, so well below freezing here in the upper atmosphere. So what's going to end up happening is it's going to be falling as snow and then reaching the ground as snow, even though we're at about 33 or 34 degrees. And that's what happens a lot. That's why sometimes you see snowfall when it's, even 35, 36, 37, 38 degrees, because the upper air is so cold. Now we're about to move on and take a look at those total snowfall maps from multiple models. It's going to be very exciting to see how much snowfall these models are calling for. Now, first things first, we're going to take a look at that NAM model, which is the one we've been using this whole video. And we're going to take a western view and then an eastern view. So first things first, we're looking at Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia here. And you can see a general dusting to 3 inches, or 2 inches, in those gray regions. But as we reach the blue, that's where we're at 2 to 6 inches of snow, and even some purples there for the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee in those Smoky Mountains regions. That's where we're expecting potentially 6 to 8 inches of snow according to the NAM model. Now let's move eastward towards North Carolina. And this is where things get crazy. I think the NAM might be overdoing this for sure. I think that a general 4 to 6 inches in the bullseye is a good call. The NAM model, however, thinks that 6 to even 15 inches of snow is possible for North Carolina up through southern Virginia. I think this is well overdone, but it is possible. A model is calling for it, which means that technically this is definitely possible. Let's take a look at what that GFS model is showing, though, and you can see it's much less. It's actually further south as well. We see most of the snowfalls in southern North Carolina, only a general 1 to 3 inches of snow there for Norfolk. Same story in Raleigh, same story in Charlotte. So definitely a much more suppressed look here on the GFS. And then on the European model, this model is showing the least amount of snow out of any of them. The location is similar to the GFS, but you can see far less snow as we're only seeing these grays, so it's dusting to 3 inches of snow there for eastern North Carolina up through Norfolk as well. So we are going to have to wait and see what this European model does. Again, in the Weather Freaks Facebook group, we are going to be vigorously tracking this storm to see what it does. And then here at the end, this is our Canadian model once again with a more zoomed in look, so you can see a general 2 to 5 inches of snow definitely possible within all of these blue areas according to the Canadian model. So you can see they are definitely still all over the place. Too early to make a forecast for this storm, but very, very exciting stuff. Come join us on the Weather Freaks Facebook group. We'd love to have you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social medias, and I will see you guys in the next video.